All right. May peace and power elevation be to y'all. What's up? This your girl Tiffany. I'm coming through right here live in effect. So tonight I want to deal with the subject about Young Dolph and his new album called The Rich Slave. So what I'm gonna do is, right, before I get started, if anybody on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to their YouTube channel. And anybody on that Facebook, go ahead and share this video on Facebook. So please do so. So tonight I want to get into the topic about Young Dolph and his album called The Slave Mentality. So I want to be able to play some of the video clip from his interview that he did. All right, previously, earlier this week, and he's going into detail explain why why he called himself a rich slave, and then also I want to be able to explain the relationship between the master and slave as far as morality is concerned, and then I want to share another article that also deals with the concept of the slave mentality in itself. But let's go ahead and let's talk about it real quick. So what got me really wanting to do this topic, because it's very interesting, the fact that Young Dolph just come out with an album calling himself the Rich Slave. It just makes it more interesting to talk about, you know what I'm saying, from an intellectual standpoint. So let me show y'all the cover of Young Dolph's album. All right, let me show y'all what his album looked like. Okay, so so this is what his album looks like right here, the cover of it. So as you can see, he pulling up in like a Lamborghini. And then there's white folks standing around taking pictures or whatnot. So he's like representing that boy from the hood, that dude from the hood, that pulling up in the Lamborghini. Then everybody standing around taking photos of him. So yeah, that's the album cover right there. That in itself is very self-explanatory right there. All right, let's go ahead and let's take a look at his interview. All right, and I'm gonna give my thoughts and commentary on it. So let's look at the interview that he done. All right, so
it was either 2019 or 2018. I did a song called Rich Slave.
Yeah.
So I was thinking what to name my album. I was like, damn, what should I name it? I was looking at the songs. And I said, that's it, Rich Slave.
Rich Slave.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Because the song, it's a song. You know what I mean? It's like it's been already in my category.
Yeah.
I already had this going on. You know what I mean? It's a song that I've been made it. And it's hard. It's super hard. So I was like, man, I'm gonna name it my album.
I like the titles for sure, catchy, but you free, bro. You know, you ain't no slave. You deaf as anybody, of any rappers, you ain't no slave, you independent. So
you right. You right. But wait, let me break it down to you.
Okay.
This Audemars, bro, they not black. But we spend all the money on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, the Lamborghinis. I done bought 3 Lamborghinis. I bought 3 Lamborghinis this year. They not black.
Right.
So yeah, like I'm free. I'm making money. I'm a boss. I'm a CEO. I'm all that. But at the same time, it's certain stuff that goes on with our culture and with us, with people, this period that we don't realize. Like, it's the mentality, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I said, bro, man, people don't realize it. And they like, a lot of people saying that. My partner called me and said, like, bro, he said, bro, you finna drop the tape, it's hard. I said, yeah, Rich Slave. I said, you a rich slave too. He like, I ain't no rich slave. I said, but okay, check this out. I said, jump in your McLaren and go to your neighborhood, go to Black Haven and ride around for 2 hours, bro, and tell me, hey, cut the light back on. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, go to your neighborhood, the old hood, and tell me if the police don't stop you or not.
Right. Yeah. I get it.
Why?
I get it.
Because you in a car that they don't think you're supposed to be in. And at the same time, you spending all your good, hard-earned, well-earned money on this car because you pride yourself, but it ain't like they give you half on it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they you know what I'm saying?
No, I get it. That's a good point. I mean, but it comes to us, you know.
Just because I got money, just because we got money, people that get up and succeed in life, it don't mean nothing. We still got the same problem. We still go through the same stuff, the same exact thing. Basically, that's what Rich Slave about life. Like, man, there ain't no difference in life. Man, we still go through these problems.
Yeah, regardless. I like that. That's a different perspective to it. But you brought up the Lambo, and I see that you're giving one out. You know, And I was like, Dolph giving out a real Lambo. You giving out your Lambo? Or like, I got
my Lambo.
Huh?
My Lambo.
The one that you bought with your money, this ain't no budget money, this is your money.
No, bro, it's my Lamborghini. It ain't no budget money, no kind of money. It's man, Dolph woke up one day, I wake up, everything going back cars. You know what I'm saying? But I decided this time, like, hey, I'm gonna drop an album. I ain't dropped in 2 years. My fans love me. I want to show them how much I love them back because I told you I was in the middle of I told you I was
no,
in the middle
you working, bro.
So
I get it, you work.
It's like I just want to show my fans, but I got real love for them, like they got real love for me. Like this song ain't nobody never did something.
ASOS.com. Stop what you're doing. There's
Hold on. Sorry about that, you guys. Hold on. Sorry about that. Let me go back. Okay.
They see me do this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm finna give away my car, the car that everybody the rappers brag about that and get right. They just made it, and like, and they always they leasing them. It's like, but it's my car. You know what I mean? It's like I would have gave away the Lamborghini truck, but my little boy liked the Lamborghini truck too much.
Right.
So I'm giving away my Lamborghini Aventador.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they just how I'm rocking, bro. 2020. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. I make the rules, I break the rules, I do all of it. You know what I mean? Paper route business. Like,
I love
it. Is what it is.
I love it. But I will say this though. You know, you give somebody a Lamborghini, something go down, you know, you gotta them Lamborghini oil change is different. You know, you gotta
That's their problem at that point.
You gotta give a Lamborghini maintenance package.
Hey, listen.
All right. So as you can see, Young Dolph was breaking down in the interview why he called his album the Rich Slave album. So basically, he showed that in the beginning, he stated that you know, he was doing the song with he was doing the album with his homeboy, right? And they were talking about wealth and whatnot. He told him, he said, hey, you're a rich slave too. So at the end of the day, what he's saying is you can have all the wealth in the world, right? You can accumulate so much profit, but you still operate under a slave mentality because guess what? All those profits, all the luxury stuff, the material stuff that you buy is owned by those who have oppressed you. So a lot of about a good 90% of the stuff that we buy here in America is owned by white people for the most part. They control the manufacturing. They control the businesses. They control all the luxury. All these European cars that we got, or you know, our people buy and stuff, that comes from those who have oppressed us. Whether it be coming from France, England, Portugal, Spain, whatever, we buying these cars from them. We buying all this luxury stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just so we can be on that status of our oppressor. And as he mentioned, he said when his homeboy disagreed with him and told him that, nah, we ain't no slave, man. What the hell you talking about, bro? We ain't no slave. So he was like, I then will go ride down in the hood and see if you're going to get pulled over by the police. Because 9 times out of 10, you're going to get pulled over because they think that you driving something that you're not even supposed to be in. Like the situation that went down with Oprah Winfrey, right? When she was in Sweden, she wanted a purse and they wouldn't sell her a purse because the fact that she was a black woman and they felt like she couldn't afford it. So what he was saying, in either way, you are going to still be targeted. You're still going to be marginalized, right? You're still going to be pulled over. You know what I'm saying? So you have not completely got out of slavery yet. So the guy in the beginning, the guy who was interviewing him basically said that, oh, you know, you're a free independent artist. You know what I'm saying? You're an independent artist. You're not a slave. You got your own record label. He's like, yeah, but still, if you look around, we don't own anything, really. You know, we own less than 1% of the major the major industry, whether it be cars, whether it be clothes, whatever. We own less than 1% of the wealth in this country. You know, our wealth is nothing compared to our white counterparts. Yeah, you got the Jay-Z's. Yeah, you got P. Diddy. Yeah, you got Nas. You got Kanye West. You got all these celebrities, black celebrities that have made a fortune. You got Tyler Perry, but their profit is nothing compared to those white counterparts. It's nothing compared to Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, all these different people who are billionaires and who are multi-billionaires at that. So what he's saying is we still rely on the oppressor to get what we want. We still rely on the oppressor to give us our jewelry. We rely on the oppressor for the mansions, the cars. We go out and eat at these big time restaurants that's owned by those who have oppressed us or those who are the descendant of those oppressors versus in our own neighborhood, right? Going to places in our neighborhood. So you ain't got too many black people who accumulate that kind of wealth. Overall, in general, we don't make up enough percentage of those who's at that top rank. You're not going to hear much about black scientists, right? You're not going to hear much about black business owners or economists. You're not going to hear much about none of that. When you hear about black people wealth or black people prosperity, it's more so those who are athletes, those who are in the entertainment business, and those who are actors or actresses. That's the only time you really hear about wealth coming from black people. But overall, you're not going to hear outside of that arena. So I want to back up everything that Young Dolph is saying. Right? So I'm going to back it up with some source. So I want to show you guys something real quick. Okay? And it's called the master slave morality. Master slave morality. And then down here it says, master slave morality is a central theme of Frederick Nietzsche's work, particularly in the first essay of his book on the genealogy of morality. Nietzsche argued that there were two fundamental types of morality: master morality and slave morality. Master morality values pride and power, while slave morality values kindness, empathy, and sympathy. Master morality judges action as good or bad, the classical virtues of the noble man versus the vices of the rabble. Unlike slave morality, which just judges by a scale of good or evil intentions, right? For Nietzsche, a morality is inseparable from the culture which values it, meaning that each culture, language, codes, practices, and narratives and institutions are informed by the struggle between these two moral structures. Now, I want to go down to the part where it talks about master morality. So, Nietzsche defined master morality as the morality of the strong-willed. Nietzsche criticized the view, which he identifies with contemporary British ideology, that good is everything that is helpful and bad is everything that is harmful. He argues proponents of this view have forgotten the origins of its value, and it is based merely on a non-critical acceptance of habits. What is useful has always been defined as good. Therefore, usefulness is goodness as a value. He continued to explain it that in the prehistoric state, the value of non-value of an action was derived from its consequences. But ultimately, there are no moral phenomena at all, only moral interpretation of phenomenon. For strong-willed men, the good is the noble, strong, and powerful, while the bad is the weak, cowardly, timid, and petty. So the master has been seen as a noble man, right? He has been seen as somebody on the pedestal, right? So what Young Dolph is saying that we try to emulate the master. We want to be on that pedestal like the master. So we look up to the master as an example of the hierarchy, of nobility, of strong will. We look up to the master. And we're not independent enough to think for ourselves or to see things outside of the box. So whether you might be poor or whether you're rich, you still operate from a slave point of view. You're still subjugating yourself because why? You're considered as subordinate, while those who are privileged are considered as dominant. So the people that are privileged are predominantly white people because they have used their skin color as a social status. Whereas you as a black person or any other minority group is considered as a subordinate. And you don't have that privilege. So you are underprivileged. So he still acknowledged himself as being underprivileged, whether he got money or not. Even with your famous celebrities out there like Jay-Z and all of them, they still underprivileged. Yeah, they got all that wealth, but most of that wealth come from music. And some of it come from the activity they did outside of music. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, it comes from the music, from royalties. Outside of that, they don't have that much ownership of a lot of things. Yeah, they might get a little profit here and there. They might get a little partnership or something, or a little endorsement. That's about it. But overall, in general, they don't have that type of power and access as their white counterparts. So it's not really a win-win situation for them. But let's continue on. And it says, the essence of master morality is nobility. Other qualities that are often valued in master morality are open-mindedness, courageousness, truthfulness, trustworthiness, and accurate sense of one's self-worth. Master morality begins in the nobleman with a spontaneous idea of good. Then the idea of bad develops as what is not good. The noble type of man experiences itself as a determining values. It does not need approval. It judges. What is harmful to me is harmful in itself. It knows itself to be which first accords honor to things. It is value creating. In master morality, individuals define what is good based on whether it benefits that person and the pursuit of self-defined personal excellence. And so far as something is helpful to strong-willed man, it is like what he values in himself. Therefore, the strong-willed man values such things as good because they aid him in a lifelong process of self-actualization through the will to power. So at the end of the day, we are still giving power to those who are privileged. And we're not just giving power to them because of economics, but social power and political power. And that's subconsciously speaking. So you might broke away from slavery physically, but mentally your mind has been captivated. It has been captivated. It's been under control. Because why? Through domestication process, through philosophies, through ideologies, through the principles of what we call the Western society. So you have not broke away from it because now you attached to that dominant group. So at the end of the day, they still have power over you. And whatever is considered normal has to be validated by them pretty much. If it ain't validated and it's not accustomed to their cultural ideology, then it's not considered to be normal. Right? But if it's accustomed and it's beneficial to that dominant group, then it can benefit everybody else. But y'all not hear me though. See, y'all not getting it. I don't think y'all understand what I'm coming from. If it's beneficial to the dominant group, right? The people that has the most systemic power, then it'll be beneficial to everybody else. But if it's not benefiting them, then guess what? It's not going to be benefited to everyone else. So at the end of the day, what he's describing is the power that's taking place. power, wealth, and prestige. So he's saying no matter how wealthy I get, no matter how rich I become, I'm still subjugated. I'm still subordinated to those who are dominant or those who are privileged. In other words, I'm still an underprivileged black man. So my wealth don't mean shit because they're not looking at my wealth. They looking at my skin color. And that goes back to the history, long history of slavery. My skin color is going to play the factor. My social status is what's going to determine the factor. Why you think you don't hear much about the black billionaires besides those celebrities I named? Why you think you don't hear much about black insurance company, black banks? Because they're considered to be underprivileged. They don't have that type of the marketing. They don't have the type of status. They don't have a type of recognition like their white counterparts. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead. All right, so let's look at slave morality. According to Nesachet, I'm assuming his name is German, so yeah, it's Nesachet. All right, masters are creators of morality. Keyword: masters are creators of morality. Masters are creator of morality. Think about that for a moment. Slaves respond to master morality with their slave morality. Unlike master morality, which is a segment, slave morality is based on resettlement, devaluing that which the master values and the slave does not have. As master morality originates in the strong, slave morality originates in the weak. Because slave morality is a reaction to oppression. It validifies its oppressor. Slave morality is the inverse of master morality. As such, it is characterized by permissivism and cynicism. Slave morality is created in opposition to what master morality value as good. Slave morality is a reaction to oppression. Now, again, this was written by a European, okay? And this was long before, let me see. Okay, well, maybe, you know what? Maybe years after slavery had ended. But this is a European writing this information, right, and describing the relationship between a master and a slave and their morality level or their status. Now, he said down here, slave morality does not aim at asserting one's will by strength, but by careful subversion. It does not seek to transcend the masters, but to make them slaves as well. The essence of slave morality is utility. The good is what is most useful for the whole community, not just the strong. Nesachet saw this as a contradiction. Since the powerful are few in number compared to the masses of the weak gain power by corrupting the strong into believing that the causes of slavery, the willpower, are evil, as the qualities the weak originally could not choose because of their weakness. By saying humility is voluntary, slave morality avoids admitting that their humility was in the beginning forced upon them by a master. Then it goes on to talk about biblical principles of humility, charity, and pity are the result of universalizing the plight of the slave onto all mankind, and thus enslaving the masters as well. The democratic movement is their heir to Christianity, the political manifestation of slave morality because of its obsession with freedom and equality. All right. And then so let's go down here and let's look under where they speak on society. So it said this struggle between master and slave morality reoccurs historically. According to Nesache, ancient Greek and Roman society were grounded in master morality. The Homeric hero is the strong-willed man, and the classical roots of Iliad and Odyssey exemplify Nesache's master morality. He called the heroes men of a noble culture, giving a substantive example of master morality. Historically, master morality was defeated as the slave morality of Christianity spread throughout the Roman Empire. So remember, master morality is dealing with someone who is dominant. Slave morality is dealing with somebody who is subordinate. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and play the interview real fast. Let's finish where he left off.
That's $500,000 vehicle.
It is.
Take it, and do your thing. I see you later.
Right. No, it's real. It's real. I'm finna register. You know, I don't know if I can win, but I'm sure finna register.
Hey, better get in there. All I gotta say, somebody finna win it.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Dolph, I don't know, I probably don't remember this, but I met you years back in Nashville. My boy DJ Crisis brought you to Nashville for a meet and greet. And I met you then. I mean, this was almost 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And I've been seeing the grind since then. Like, I've been following you since then. And to be from where you were then to where you are now shows nothing but hard work pays off. So what kept you dedicated so long, bro? Just dedicate.
My passion. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
$1 billion later, I'm still gonna be hungry. I remember where I come from.
Where does that come from, though? Like that passion,
bro.
You hear me? I was saying, like, where does that come from? Just that passion. Where do you think you got that from?
Your struggle, your story. I think everybody got their story. You know what I'm saying? Mine's just, it hit me real early. My reality hit me early as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, this my situation. We messed up. But, okay, it's like, you can stand, you can see, like, it's, like, you see this, you know what I'm saying? It's a difference when you don't know. But when you know, it's about what you're going to do about it. I'm the oldest out of 3 boys, but I'm the middle child. You feel like I got 2 big sisters, 2 little brothers. I had to make something happen.
Had to make something.
You know what I mean? Like I don't want nobody. I don't care about nobody's opinion. I don't ask nobody's opinion. I might ask your opinion if your opinion I feel like it's worth something, but at the same time, I ain't gonna lie. Listen, I really already have my mind made up what I'm gonna do anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm kidding. Like, even when I'm asking people's opinion, I really already know what I'm gonna do anyway. It's really like I'm really just getting you to put the stamp on it. Like, hey, too many people say this right here. Like, hey, yeah, well, you finna get ready to do exactly what you think you finna get ready to do.
Yeah, that's real. I mean, that's real.
You got people to talk about it. A lot of people gonna talk about it, but it's about, man, who's doing it.
Bro,
that's my thing. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm gonna get up, work my ass out every day. You know what I mean? And people that don't know how to work, they don't understand life. I don't care what level of working it is. If you don't work, I don't care whatever it is you do. You don't do it every day. You don't work. We don't understand eye to eye. We don't see eye to eye. So it's like you ain't gonna understand me. So I ain't got no place around you. We can't really hang. We can't kick it. I don't want to do none of that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Oh, you go to work every day? You trying to get you some money every day? Hit me up.
Right. No, I get
you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm rocking with you.
It's an everyday thing, and it's a thing about consistency. You know what I'm saying?
Sacrifice, man.
Yeah, and you've been doing that, bro.
It's a sacrifice, bro. I threw away all the fun, man. I gave up and threw away all the fun just so my whole family could ball.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Y'all think I've been balling since forever, on top of forever, but hey, I really would have been being humble. You You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, for real, bro. Cause at the end of the day, it ain't about me. And I think that's the mentality what people get to my level or get past. Like, people like, man, how you think like that? How you get like that? Mm-hmm. It ain't about me. It ain't never been about me. It's like, man, okay, I'm straight because I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this every day. But what about all the people that I really actually love and I want to help them every day? Yeah. Rich slaves. Man, you know what I'm saying? Like, the slave part, that's just like it's like, hey, like, this was going on. It's just like chains. The last chain I bought cost $350,000. They used to put chains around us. You know what I mean? But, you know, at the same time, it's a flip to it because in Africa and our homeland, stuff like that, it's like kings and everybody, they wear chains. So it's like, it's always a flip to it and a twist to it. But at the same time, that's how we rock, you know what I mean? And we breaking it up. Like we set the boundaries. You know what I mean? Like it's a new birth. Like for real. Hey, ain't nothing changed. We still rocking the same way. Like nothing changed.
I know, man.
When you alert though, like I told you, it's one thing when you don't know, but when you know, okay, what you gonna do about it? You gonna hold it to yourself? You gonna put other people down, put them on game, or just act like you don't know? Me, I can't act like I don't know, like I don't see this or I don't know this or know that. Like me, no, I'm not finna do it. Now, come on, man.
Nah, it's real.
That's why I can't let nobody play on me. No record label, no white old dude in the building up there that's fit to the hood. No dude in this building don't know nothing about me, so he gonna hold my album back because he don't understand it. I can't play with myself like that.
Right. Yeah.
I can't do it because it's gonna be problems in the office. Then now I gotta show up in their office.
But what's the mentality always independent from go though? From jump.
The mentality was independent before the go.
But nobody was doing
before
that.
Like,
you didn't see rappers just doing that. You know, the way was, hey,
that's
go
why
get a deal.
That's why I wanted to see nobody do it. That's why I wanted to do it, because I never seen nobody do it.
Yeah. Come on, that's real.
Come on, bro.
Hey, besides the money, what's the best thing about being independent?
All right. So, yeah, that's his interview. I'm just waiting for the advertisement to end, you know. And he actually gave away a Lamborghini. Like, he gave it away just to prove that it don't mean much to him. You know, it's just a car that he spent a lot of money on. So let's go ahead and go back to the video.
This thing about being independent, setting boundaries, and being somebody for people to, man, go like showing people, putting people up on game. Mm-hmm. Like letting everybody else see what's going on. Like, hey, this was going on. Y'all can do it too. Stay down, work your ass off. Don't take no for no answer. Man, go get it.
Right.
The motivation I put in everybody else. They're like, that's what keep me going.
That's definitely motivational. You know what I'm saying? From you talking about independence, from you talking about boundaries to you talking about slavery. And I mean,
we balling
dropping a lot of knowledge right now.
We balling all of it up, bro. We get into it.
For sure. And you know, I want you to elaborate on the importance of keeping a solid team around you. You know, I notice you keep the same, you know, you got your team with you. You know, can you elaborate on the importance of keeping that like a solid squad with you?
All right, so that was his interview, and it's shown enough interesting enough to me to where I had to just really sit back and listen. I listened to his mixtapes. Now, I'm not really a fan of his music. I'm not a fan of a lot of these new artists out here like that. But I mean, he's been around for quite some time though. I listened to his mixtape, and I must say that it's quite interesting. It's very interesting. The songs on there, there's a few songs I like the one he did was called Death Row. and he did one which was called Rich Slave and To Be Honest. So you guys should check out that mixtape for sure. Like, dude got some cool lyrics, cool bars on there, and he really going in. So yeah. Let me show you guys another article here before I log off. All right. So this article right here is called The Slave Mentality, Morality of Spirit in Hegel's Lordship and Bondage. All right. So let's read the introduction. The master slave dialectic, which occurs in Hegel's phenomenology of spirit, represents a crucial role in his ambitious project to cure European culture. At the turn of 19th century, Hegel perceived Western culture as one inflicted with a pathology of implicity, contradictory dualism, which caused man to be unhappy and divided in himself. Does that not sound very familiar? Man being unhappy and divided in himself. That sounds like us because we suffer what is called post-traumatic stress disorder. And post-traumatic stress disorder is not just consists of being traumatized, but also having a serious low self-esteem about ourselves and not being happy with who we are or accepting our culture or embracing it. Have you noticed that there's people who's trying to identify themselves or align themselves with Native American or trying to align themselves with European image looks and all that other stuff? Yeah, so that plays a part with post-traumatic stress disorder or also post-traumatic slave syndrome, which Dr. Joy DeGroot speak of as well. All right. And greetings to everybody that's coming in watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. So let's also look down here. It says in his phenomenology, Hegel lays bare the philosophical horizon for a system of broadly scoped monism that would transform man's cognition and perception of the other through the development of consciousness. The session entitled Independence and Dependence of Self-Consciousness, Lordship and Bondage is critical to Hegel's dialectical derivation of the development of self-consciousness. The moment when consciousness becomes aware of itself when recognized by another. This derivation permits an interpretation of Hegel in such a way that a moral structure of relation between two self-consciousness can exist. What would form a moral dimension of recognition? Developing further what would be the nature of this inner subjective context of morality. All right. And then the author goes on to say, the goal of my project will be to present a moral system consists both Hegel's master slave dialectic and his spirit, the ultimate state in the development of consciousness where all self-consciousness may enjoy perfect freedom in a harmonious existence as one entity. All right. So let's see if we can go further down. All right. Now it says down here, knowing this, let us recall that self-consciousness achieves self-certainty through the negation of an object. In order to attain perpetual self-certainty, self-consciousness needs an object which may be negated but remains in existence. However, this is impossible since no object can remain in existence after being negated. Now, we must recall once more that self-consciousness recognizes itself through the world and knows that self-consciousness is a distinct in its ability to negate itself in the act of negating an object. And this self-negation, self-consciousness remain in existence since it is a self-negation in dialectical sense. A negation of its being in itself as an object for others. Here a solution arises. Self-consciousness may attain a perpetual state of self-certainty, not through negation of an object, but through another self-consciousness, another subject of self-negation. So, basically it goes into the psychology of how the slave mentality works and the master and slave dialectic point of view. So it's basically dealing with psychology all overall, and what Young Dolph have given us, right, through his album and through his interview is the psychology of the slave mentality. That's basically what he's doing. So he did it just by entitle his album Rich Slave. So he's dissecting of how slave operates mentally, even when they are wealthy. So subconsciously speaking, he's giving you psychology. The life and death struggle, right? It says, with a firm grasp of the first psychological state that two self consciousness will engage each other. Let us observe the initial encounter. When I first perceive another self-consciousness, I notice that he acts upon the world according to desire, just as I do. Despise its action as a subject, I still view the other as an object due to my psychological state. As Hegel explained, what is other, for it is unexceptional, negatively characterized object, but the other is also a self-consciousness. One individual is confronted by another individual, appearing thus immediately on the scene. They are for one another like ordinary objects, independent shapes. All right. So this one interesting. Morality in the womb, the second psychological state. All right. It goes on to say the development of the second psychological state now finds its foundation upon the conclusion of the life and death struggle. In slave submission to the master during the struggle, the slave effectively relinquished his being for self through recognizing the master's being for self. Let me read that one more time, very slowly. In the slave's submission to the master during the struggle, the slave effectively relinquish his being for self through recognizing the master's being for self. The slave must now experience a transformation of his psychological state to be fashioned in the ensuing enslavement of the slave by the master. And then down here, it goes on to say, it appears then that the master, upon being recognized by the slave as being for self, seems to have achieved his desire of perpetual self-certainty. However, still in the first psychological state, the master perceived the slave merely as another object in the world. Because of this, the slave recognition does not bring the master to full self-certainty. It is for this reason that the master forces the slave to act as an intermediary between himself and the world, so that the master may continue to negate objects and recognize himself through the objects instead of the slave. Then this forces the master into a binding bond with the slave. The master will remain a being for self as long as the slave continues to recognize the master as such, which the slave will continue to do continue to do because of his acceptance of enslavement instead of death. The master's psychological state then need not change. All right, so I just wanted to read that part to you. All right, it's called Slave Mentality, Morality of Spirit in Hegel's Lordship and Bondage. All right, and you can look up this information yourself. Look up scholarworks.montana.edu. Okay, it's written by James Estevere, University of Chicago. All right, and it was written in 2013. Okay. Montana State University International Undergraduate Philosophy Conference, Montana State University. There you go. So, anyways, in all conclusion, Young Dolph happened to be a very conscious rapper without even knowing that he's conscious. Okay. Even though he's doing it in a very commercializing way, you know what I'm saying? Because of course he has to market, he has to sell and whatnot, but he's very aware that he's not totally free. He's aware that, yes, I got all this money, I got all this wealth, but I'm not totally free. I'm still obligated to somebody. I'm still subjugating myself. I'm still looking up to someone as a mean of nobility, as a way of living through wealth, as a way of being prosperous. And so that person that he's looking up to is the oppressor as a way of prosperity. So that's all I have for you guys for tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in, watching. I really appreciate that. That really means a lot. So if you want to go ahead and share this video on Facebook, please do so. If you want to subscribe to the YouTube channel, please do that too, which is Tiffany French. Also, make sure you subscribe. And with that being said, you guys, please have a wonderful night or whatever you may be in this world. And I will talk to you guys later. All right. I will catch up with y'all in the morning, doing my little daily Black history as usual. But I wanted to talk about this subject because I felt that it was very prevalent to talk about. And I hope that you guys got something out of it. I was able to use some source to back up what he was trying to convey, the point that Young Dolph was trying to say. And I think he conveyed a good point right there, And I think these sources match up exactly to what he was talking about. So anyways, let me go ahead and log off of here. Y'all have a good one. All right. Peace. Deuces. And take it easy. Be safe. Until next time. All right.